If we're able to work with the Senate, I think you'll see a couple of things happen. I think, certainly tax reform will be an issue that we work on. The Keystone Pipeline, passing the Keystone Pipeline, we have great support in the Senate for that, along with many Democrats that agree we need to do this initiative. I believe we'll vote on that quickly. And then also when it comes to the Affordable Care Act, that's something that certainly I am passionate about. It's the reason I ran for office. I felt very strongly that the president essentially moving forward with a nationalized health care system or government-controlled health care was not the place that we needed to go, that there were many reforms that needed to be put in place in health care, but this was not the path that we should take. I think probably what you'll see there is a repeal of the medical device tax. There are so many downfalls to the Affordable Care Act. It certainly has not been what was promised to the American people. If you like your health care plan, you can keep it. If you like your doctors, you can keep them. No, that's obviously not played out. So we've got to change those things for the American people. We've got to be able to ensure affordable health care for every American and take care of those who cannot take care of themselves. But there is a way to do it from a patient-centered perspective. I mentioned the medical device tax because that already has great bipartisan support. But at the same time, you mentioned a couple of things that the American people like very much. Keeping your child on your health care plan to age 26, dealing with pre-existing conditions. The interesting thing about that, and what I think most Americans don't know, is that those were actually Republican ideas before they became part of the Affordable Care Act. So we were already moving in that direction. One of the other things that we're working on in the Energy and Commerce Committee, of which I am a member, that is the committee that I serve on, is 21st century cures. We're looking to find better ways, solutions, that will actually move healthcare forward in the form of cures, moving drugs through the FDA process in a quicker, more efficient manner that's safe but more affordable for Americans. We're also looking at initiatives for innovation and research when it comes to funding to the NIH and different organizations that are working on research right now. When we have a budget that we pass at the federal level, we then again take back the appropriations process. But we still have to work with the Senate on that. So the thing is how can we do it more efficiently? What we do is fund the programs that we know are working, and we take away funding for the ones that we know aren't working. So, there are multiple programs all dealing with the same issues, and it's wonderful, and I'm very proud to address issues that need to be fixed and dealt with for the American people. But when we end up with multitudes of them, when we end up with duplication, and we're overspending in areas that aren't really making a difference, we need to take a hard look at that and decide where the funding needs to go. We do have to have states have their voice on this issue. There are some states who are doing much better than North Carolina, that are doing much better across the board and have made that choice. And I think that's fine, and that should be a state issue. However, when we're talking about raising the minimum wage federally, what are we really talking about? We're not going to bring a family that's in poverty out of poverty. What we will do is jeopardize job growth. When someone's looking at a job at a minimum or entry level, we're looking at someone who is looking to move up the ladder of success. That's what we need to be looking at. Those are some of the bills that we've passed out of the House. When we're talking about 400 bills, we're talking about job creation bills. We're talking about bills that are creating freedom in this country, economic freedom, the ability to make better choices for your families. Entry-level jobs, by and large, are typically taken by, we see a lot of high school students, young adults, unfortunately, taking minimum wage jobs because they don't have a job to go to after being in college and preparing for a career. That's very unfortunate, but at the same time, we have to do a better job empowering them to move up that ladder of success. That's what I would rather see us concentrate on, rather than jeopardize job creation in this country with a federal across-the-board minimum wage increase. We need to empower every woman in this country. We need to make sure that we're talking about things in a perspective. Women care about their families, they care about the economy, they care about the debt, they care about health care, education, fairness in the workforce when it comes to pay for women. All of these issues are the things that women are talking about. And that's where we need to go with our conversations. And unfortunately, as Republicans, I take responsibility that we haven't done as good a job as we should. A lot of what happens in Washington after the election is going to be based on what happens in the election. There again, I think that if we are able to win the Senate majority, we're going to have a team player where we do not have a team player right now. Evidence that shows that are the 400 bills that are sitting on Harry Reid's desk that we have passed, largely with bipartisan support. We feel very strongly that when we have bipartisan support, it should move in a better way and show the American people that we really are working together.